Do you want to learn relational database management system in Python 3 programming? Then I welcome you to the right course that will teach you all that you need to know about how to DBMS by building a sample project from scratch. So in this project, we are going to build a full school portal system that will help us to master complete database management system and Python programming. And this will help us to strengthen our skill in Python programming as well. It's going to be all hands on deck practical. Therefore, you must get yourself ready and get set to work along with me to the end. I promise that you are going to move from beginner's level to professional level in database management system at the end of this course. Let's quickly go ahead and look at the general overview of the entire project we are going to learn and what we are going to do in this course. So this is a project that will help us to learn how to add new record, edit a record, and delete a record in database, which are the core principles of database management system. So you are going to learn how to build this frame, how to build this and add both time and date. You learn how to add your logo. You will replace the GSteve logo right here. You will learn how to add the menu bars and even drop down menu as well, such that if you click on add record, it pop up a menu for you. And the same is applicable to when you hit on edit. Want to edit a record? No. Want to delete? No. And what if you need a help? You can be able to click on help and report send. It will collect the whole log and send that. Okay. And if you want to close the application, want to close your app? No. If you click on this to close your app and hit on yes, the entire app is closed, and you can go ahead and run this project again, and the project comes back to normal. Now, first of all, let's look at how to add a new record. If I go ahead and hit on add new record and said want to add a new record and hit on yes, it says fields not completed, fill all fields, because you need to fill these so that you can be able to add new record. Now let's go ahead and say the first record is George, and the last one is Steve, and the username is GSteve, and the email is user@gsteveworld.com, and the subject is hello world, and the age is equal to 24 or 20. I can be able to hit on add record from here, or I add from here, or I go ahead and use the drop down menu. So let's start with the drop down menu, and you see that this works out fine. Go ahead and hit on add record. Say want to add a new record? Yes. George, Steve, GSteve, user@gsteveworld.com, hello world at age 20 is added. And right here you can see this message displayed here, record George Steve is added. So you learn how to add this pop-up menu or this pop-up text, so that you can be able to know every action you take in this application. And at the time of adding this user here, it went ahead and cleared the field for you, so you can be able to add new list again. You can add a new record right here. Let's go ahead and say the new record is AGK, and the last name is Ifani Chuku, and the username is IAGK, and email is agk@gsteveworld.com, and the subject is Python, and age is 24. So I have used the drop down menu, so the same is applicable to add here. If I go ahead and hit on add, just the same thing will happen. Click on no, nothing happens. If I go ahead and let's go ahead and use this one right here and hit on add record, yes, you can see record AGK Ifanichuku is added, and right here you can see that record AGK Ifanichuku is added below, and that is number 7. So you learn how to add a new record. What if you want to edit a record? You can select any of this record and the date. Let's go ahead and select like George and edit George. And if I go ahead without selecting a record, let's say I close this and run this application again. Let's check out. User Ejike and George are still there because they are right in our database right now, and they can never be tampered with except to go ahead and edit or delete them. So without selecting any record and I hit on edit, it says want to edit a record? No, nothing happens. What if you go over here and do the same? No, nothing happens. And what if you go ahead and hit on yes? It says please select a record to edit. So you have to come over here and select any record you need. Let's select George Steve and hit on edit. Want to edit a record? Yes. And this pop-up menu comes up here. You can see this, it popped up this for us, and right here you can no longer see please select a record because you have already selected George Steve. Now you have this, it pulls up the data for you. The old name is George and it requires you to put a new first name. The old last name is Steve. It requires you to put a new last name, and the old username is just Steve. So you can see that everything is exactly the same. So I can go ahead and say the new first name is new George, and the new last name is new Steve, and the new user is, let me call that to be new user. And what of email? Let's call that to be new at gmail.com. Let's go ahead and use a Gmail. And what of the subject? Let the subject be Java Python. Alright, so what of the age? Let the age be 18 and hit on save changes. And you can see that George details were changed to new George. And let's check it out. That is number 6. New George, new Steve, new user, new at gmail.com, and new Java Python with age 18 is there right now. And what if you go ahead and close this and let's run the application again? You can see everything is exactly the same and your time is moving normal. So now let's go ahead and look at deleting a record. So without selecting anything, I hit on delete. It says want to delete a record? No, nothing happens. And exactly the same thing is applicable to drop down menu. So hit on delete. Want to delete a record? Yes. It says please select a record to delete. So you must always select a record. And let's go ahead and select new George and hit on new George and hit on delete. Want to delete a record? Yes. Record 6 is deleted. You can see ID 6 is no longer existing because we've deleted it. And if we close this application and run this application again, record 6 is no longer there. Record 6 is missing. And let's go ahead and delete one more. Ejikifani Chuku and hit on delete a record. Yes. Record 7 is deleted. Can you see that? So I hope that is very cool. And we have only record 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 still there. So you can go ahead and delete any of them as well. So now you have seen how to add, edit, and delete. What if you need a help? Go ahead and hit on help and it says report sent. And it will take the log and send to the database analyst and we check out what your problem is. Alright, so you're going to learn how to add this time here, and you can see the time is moving, showing you the time you are executing every application, when you log in, when you added, when you delete, when you edit and do other things. And what if you go ahead and hit on exit? Want to close your app? Yes, and the app is closed. So you can go ahead and run the app again and it's back, and you have your database just normal. And the entire code we have here will help us to do this. This is really a very big bunch of code, and I believe at the end of this course you will really learn about deep Java programming from beginning to the end. It is all hands on deck and you will not be left out. I'm going to take you step by step to the end of this course. So whatever the problem is, I'm going to help you to solve that. And in any way you have any question, please, you always use the question and answer section, and I will always get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you are very excited about the knowledge you're going to acquire at the end of this course, and I also guarantee you that you will love what you get at the end. Therefore, let's quickly jump into the course and kick off immediately. Thank you, and see you in the course.